Okay, back. I've sprayed my primer and power dried it with the hot air gun, and look at the difference. That looks fantastic. For the most part, I think I'm almost finished with it. I can work with this now. Boy, I'm having a lot of trouble with the focus. Okay, I can work with this now. See, the cape and the hood have now become one. There's supposed to be an indentation back there because the head, as I said, is bigger than the neck, so that actually looks natural. It's smooth enough and tapered enough that it'll look just fine when I paint it. I haven't destroyed the detail of the ears. Notice that the contact flash that I'd sanded off has now disappeared. There were little lines coming up here and across the crown of the head and on the other side. Those are gone. So sanding is your friend. Just remember that. Okay? Anyway, the next step obviously will be mixing my colors, and as I have been looking at the finished model in Mike Baldwin's Facebook page, I've come to the conclusion that the black that I'm looking for is like a charcoal black. It isn't a pure black, but rather more of a charcoal, very dark black, very dark charcoal with almost a bluish tinge. Now obviously you're looking at this through the camera, which shifts it over to blue. The actual gray looks more gray than that. It doesn't look that blue. It's hard to show it with a camera. But go to the page, you'll see it. It's the Facebook page, Underworld Sculpture. He's got the Batman down down a ways on a stream. Let me close this down. This is can't get it back to where I was. Come on. I've got it on Zoom, unfortunately, and I can't get the page back to the size that I want. It's just getting bigger and bigger, isn't it? There we go. Okay, so it's Underworld Sculpture. And it's Mike Baldwin, he's the artist. So check it out and you'll see what I mean. The gray, there's some of his other stuff, really cool stuff. There's a Superman. The gray, here he is. To me, it's gray. It's definitely gray, but there's a slight tinge to it, which sort of shifts it over to blue. Maybe it's more pronounced in the cape than it is in the gray. But anyway, I'll play with the colors around a little bit and see what I can come up with. As far as the yellow, I think pretty much that's that sunburnt yellow that I have. Maybe a little bit lighter. I'll probably lighten it up with a little white, just to tone it down so it's not so yellow. And I'll be doing a wash like this guy did here, whoever built it for him. I love that. The little details are brought out and the buttons are brought out, and of course the belt buckle is different. It looks to me like they painted it like a light copper or brass. I'll take a look at it and decide which color I can use. I got some alclads that'll look good there. So anyway, he's coming along. The two difficult seams were the cape seam, which I mentioned, and this hood and cape seam. Other than that, there isn't much in the way of seams left. This is how he sits on the cape, the trunk. As you can see, the arms, the seams are pretty much along the folds of the muscles. They'll hide very nicely. The legs, as with Superman, there'll be natural divisions of the shorts and the leg, which are different colors. So I think the most difficult parts are over with. Now it's just a question of, well, I shouldn't say that, the masking is always difficult, but as far as the prep work for the body, I think I've gotten it down to the point where he's ready for paint. I'll fine sand it with some 600 and 1500 just to make it nice and smooth, and I'll go ahead and choose my colors. But anyway, that's it for now, and I'll talk to you later. Back with Batman. I have completed painting the cape, and it's been drying for a couple of days. I chose to mix a sort of a very dark charcoal by taking Spee's black and adding drops of white until I reached a shade that I felt was right. And I really like the color I came up with. I've got the face and the eyes masked off, the face with tape and the eyes with silly putty. And got them set aside, and I'm now working on the bat on the chest. For these difficult maskings, sometimes what I do is I just lay over some tape and then mark it and slice it with razor blades, taking out the piece of tape, and it makes it a lot easier to get complicated shapes and lines like that masked. So he's all set. I'm going to go ahead and paint him the same color as the cape, and I'll be back. Okay, here's a bat on the chest, all painted up, and the masking has been removed. It looks pretty cool. Here's the gloves hanging from my hooks there so that they dry up. And they look pretty good too. So coming along nicely. Next, the shorts. Back again with Batman. I have this pesky little thing called work, which has really been getting in my way, in the way of my model building. It's been kicking my butt, and I hadn't had any chance to work on any of my builds since last week. But tonight I finally made up for lost time and continued working on Batman. I've gotten a lot done, as you can see. Let me go through what I've done. I finished the belt and the torso. First I masked off the belt and the bat with silly putty and the belt with tape, and I pre-shaded with black, and then hit it with the same gray tone that I used for the legs. And then I took some more of the gray and used a technique which I'd read about in the instructions to do the face painting on previous models, and I sprayed some more clear on the high parts of the muscle layers to emphasize it even more, and the results are fantastic. I really like the definition of the muscle, and I'm going to use it from now on. As for the belt, I used the sun yellow, lightened it up with a little bit of white so it wouldn't be so yellow, I painted the buckles of each of the things with Tamiya NATO Black, and then I used a magic marker to emphasize the lines so that the belt looked a bit more defined. As for the buckle, I used alclad copper. And now I'm getting set to, I also glued the legs with pins, the same technique I used with Superman. And now I'm getting set to glue the cape and head on, as well as the arms, and finish the main assembly of the kit. So I'll be right back with that and show you what I've done. Back with Batman. I've finished the main assembly, and it wasn't the easiest thing to do, I'll tell you that. Ran into some issues with the CA glue not wanting to hold, at least not as quickly as I would like. And there was some running. I had to wait for it to dry because CA glue is deadly to paint if you try and wipe it off before it dries. No, that's no good. Let me turn him around so you guys can see him with the light from the shop. Obviously I'll have to look around and retouch whatever boo-boos I find. And the face is still incomplete, of course. In fact, I should probably remove that now because the adhesive is going to be a pain to get off the kit. That's about all that's missing. Everything else is finished, aside from any little boo-boos I might have to pick up. This arm it glued well and it fit well, although I had to move it around to get the cape holding onto the hand. This one, however, was a royal pain. I actually had to turn the kit over head down and put plenty of glue to allow the joint to cure so it wouldn't fall off. Now finally it's nice and firm, and I think it'll be alright. I had some runniness of CA glue behind. You can see it back there. I'll have to fix that. I waited for it to dry and I'm gently scraping it off. Might use a little bit of 600 and then repaint to get that off. There's some runniness in the back, but it's not visible unless you look at them from below and turn them upside down, so I'm not going to worry about it. All in all, I think it looks fantastic. I love the pose, and I'll just take this off and pause for the night. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll be able to paint the eyes and the face and get that done. So almost finished with the Dark Knight. Talk to you soon. Okay, I'm back and Batman is finished. I painted the face and the eyes today and did a little bit more touch-up work, and then finally gave him a final coat with the Krylon matte and power dried him with the heat gun, and he looks fantastic. Let me just show you. I settled on painting the eyes white. I used Tamiya flat white. I thought it looked cool in the build-up that Mike Baldwin has on his Facebook page, and I went ahead and did it the same way. I think it looks great. The face, again, I used the Scale 74 paints. Excuse me, Scale 75 paints. And used the same technique, using a couple of different shades of flesh to create the initial color, then shading darker from below, and then the chin with a lighter shade. And I touched up issues with the CA glue that had gone down there. I scraped it off a little bit and then just sprayed it again with some of the same color that I used for the cape, and it's pretty much hidden. You can see it if you really look back there, but since he hides it and it's in the dark, in the shadows, I'm not going to worry about it. You can't even see it. So I really like this kit. The pose is fantastic. Vintage Dark Knight. And the cape looks incredible. I love it. It looks like it's windswept. So he's all dry. I'm going to go ahead and set him up on the table with the other superheroes, and I'll shoot a final quick sequence there and I'll show you guys. But there's the Batman, Dark Knight, or is it Arkham Asylum? I don't know. I just think he looks really cool. Okay. Well, there he is. The Dark Knight himself, standing amongst his peers with some of his DC colleagues as well as Marvel colleagues. I really like the eyes. I'm glad I chose the white eyes. It suits him. The lighting in the office is kind of poor. Sorry about that, guys. Appreciating came out perfect. And he stands next to Soups. Ready for action. So that's Batman. I hope you enjoyed the build, and I had a blast with it, as usual. It's another proud display piece for my collection. Thanks for watching, and till my next build. Talk to you later.